Welcome back, everyone. It's now time for What's Hot. This is where we talk about those stories that have everybody talking.
Today we're joined by Eric Paulson of Wellstream Media and Tracy Johnson with the Commercial Association of Realtors. Milwaukee County bus drivers voted against a new contract and are willing to go on strike if a deal is not reached today. If drivers walk off the job, it wouldn't happen until at least 3 a.m. Wednesday. That's tomorrow morning. The strike would affect about 150,000 bus riders. Your thoughts on all this? It has been a long time since we've seen a strike.
Yeah, 1978 was the last time. And the union's pretty unified on this. They were voting 90+% against the contract and to authorize a strike. The real question is, what's the real issue? They were talking about money, an 8% increase over the next 4 years. They said that would be offset by benefits that they had to pay additional into. But then you also heard about part-time drivers, and you heard about bathroom breaks. I read several stories where they were saying they only get 4-minute bathroom breaks, and one of the quotes was, some of our drivers wear Depends. What's the real issue here? And can they get this resolved too? Because, like you said, so many people depend on the bus right now.
Well, and I think the real issue is just, the fact that you're dealing with unions. And the thing that we're talking about here, when you listen to some of the people that are in these unions, not everybody agrees that they need to be striking. But I think there's a lot of coercion going on. I think there's probably a lot of misinformation, and there's always those scare tactics. I mean, the real reason, I think, is this pay increase. They're saying, okay, we're only getting an 8% pay increase, and yes, it's offset by healthcare costs. But here's the deal. Everybody's income is offset by healthcare costs. It's called a dose of reality. So I think what the union, what the county is going to be forced to negotiate, I think, harder. And I think at the end of the day, the bus drivers are going to get a little more of what they want. I think you're going to see fare increases. You may see a greater burden on a taxpayer. But at the end of the day, you got 150 people riding these buses. This impacts corporate America. This impacts all the businesses downtown. This is going to be a real problem. And not to mention Summerfest is going on. This is well timed.
One of the things that the union members I talked with last night don't like about this proposed contract is, for the first time, MCTS would be able to hire part-time drivers. Never happened before. MCTS says they need this because it can cut down on the overtime. I mean, a lot of drivers work essentially 6 days a week when you factor in the overtime.
But they like that overtime.
Some
of them do.
they
like that overtime.
They want the overtime. They were talking about 10-hour days, but they don't want part-time workers to help relieve that. So it's kind of a confusing thing. How are they going to come together?
And this is what the private sector, the public sector, the organizations that are trying to save money and be realistic, this is what they do, is they find another way. And I think eventually, and I don't know if you can do this without a union, because I certainly think that these jobs require a very special kind of person who's got the patience, the talent, you got to know these routes. I think you need to have people who know what they're doing, but they're looking for other options here, and they don't want to be raising taxes, because I think you've got, two different struggles here. And ultimately, I think the county's going to end up not winning this one, unfortunately.
All right, coming up next, we reveal the viewer's choice topic of the day.
And Scott Steele back with another look at your forecast. And now more of What's Hot. We've got our viewer's choice topic of the day.
Again, we're joined by Eric Paulson and Tracy Johnson. The viewer's choice topic is this: more workers might be taking home a bigger paycheck soon. President Obama proposing to expand overtime pay for millions of people. Right now, only salaried workers who make less than $45 a week are guaranteed overtime. $455 a week guaranteed overtime. The president wants salaried employees who earn up to $50,000 a year to be eligible for OT. Will this proposal help or hurt businesses?
Well, I think this proposal, even though they're saying they want to help the individual, I think that it will ultimately help businesses, because you know what? Businesses are going to find a way around this. Every time government sits here and says we're going to put these restrictions on people's pay, and we're going to with Obamacare, for example, they were saying that, the businesses had to pay unless they were at a threshold. The businesses find a way around it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to hire more people at a lower wage, and they're going to continue to make profits just like they always do. So, even though this is a great platform speech for the Democratic Party, and I get that he's doing it in La Crosse, in a state where Scott Walker is soon to announce, I think ultimately this is going to fall flat. He'll get a lot of a round of applause, but ultimately it won't do a lot of good.
Well, Tracy, it is one of those things that sounds good, because I saw some people posting earlier on social media. President Obama just gave 5 million Americans a raise. No, he didn't. What he did was, some people will make a little bit more money, but you're right, businesses are going to respond by saying, okay, we're going to spread the overtime work out to some other part-time workers, And basically, they're already starting to cut that with the Affordable Care Act regulations. So I think some people will benefit, but some people who are working additional hours and making their regular rated additional are going to get that cut back too. So some people are going to get hurt by this.
Let's look at this from
aren't going to be
let's look at this from a different perspective here. Workers are going to wind up getting something out of this. They're either going to get their time back that their employers are expecting them to work for free, or they're going to get paid for that time.
Okay.
In some cases, they will get that time back, and that is a benefit for them.
Right, because if you're working 50 hours a week and
you're either going to get paid for it, or you're not going to have to do it.
If you scale back to 40 and you're making the same amount of money, that's a good deal for these employees.
Well, and I would think an hourly employee, I mean, I would think it would be against the law to make somebody who's an hourly employee work over 40 hours.
It's not, though.
It's not.
Well, again, I actually think that
some businesses are doing the right thing, others are not.
Well,
right, some weren't paying time and a half. That's the difference.
Well, and those people who are getting time and a half, I have a feeling that they're going to be replaced by part-time workers. So it's just the way that businesses
some of that
make
will
more money.
All right, it's time for our lightning round. Some people are now getting sunburns on purpose. They're calling it art. So they selectively apply sunscreen on parts of their bodies, and they can create designs from the exposed areas of skin.
There's nothing grosser than sunburn, purposely sunburning yourself and exposing yourself to cancer like this. And you know, I used to work at a tanning salon in my day.
No.
And I did. And there were people that would come in, they would try to come in twice a day. But so I'm surprised that these tanning shops would allow this to happen, or that people on the beach would purposely see this happening. We got to watch out for one another. Skin cancer is being diagnosed at a rate higher than almost every other cancer combined.
It is on the rise. Young women are more at risk for melanoma now because of tanning beds.
This is not art, and this is not cool. This does not look good. So don't do it.
Yeah, can't you just go the opposite way and Target spray tan yourself?
You could Target spray tan.
Just as bad.
That's expensive, though, Eric.
Well, I don't know, I've never tried it, but what the heck, maybe
yeah,
we'll
but you'll
both have
live
to
a
try
longer
it.
life.
You'll live a longer life. Yeah, that's true.
And look ridiculous.
Or a tattoo. You know what? Let's just do this. We'll just get tattoos all over our body, which is probably a safer bet these days, right?
Rob, how do you feel about that? Nope. No.
I don't know. People are going to these way extreme measures. And here's the deal. If this causes us to talk more about why this is a bad idea, then this is a great story. Let's keep talking about it.
Yep.
The rare topic where I got nothing. You can read more about today's topics online at TMJ4.com.